WMNH Rip the Knob Off.
This is Eleanor Langthorne from Vices Inc., and you're listening to Matt Connarton Unleashed on 95.3 WMNH.
Let freedom be. Oh, that is so good. That is Unleash the Beast, and the band is Warhog. Welcome, everybody. If you are listening live on Saturday, April 19, 2025, we have just entered hour number 2, numero dos of this week's Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire. Jenny is here, of course, at the news table.
Present and accounted for.
And in addition to her bunny ears that she's wearing, because it is Easter weekend, we are both wearing our Warhog shirts.
We are twinning.
Yes.
We never twin.
We never do that, but we've both got our Warhog shirts on because we love Warhog, love talking to these guys. We've got Scott Beatley from Warhog is on Skype with us. Hopefully this is working. Hey, Scott, can you hear me?
Hey, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome.
Yay! Good morning.
Welcome to the show. You never know with Skype. I actually just saw a notification that said that Skype is ending in May, and that we have to use Google Teams now. I guess Google Teams is replacing Skype, so we'll have to figure that out for the future. But always great to have you on the show. Of course, you're the singer and guitarist in Warhog, and we do enjoy Warhog. And is that the newest single, Unleash the Beast?
It was until yesterday.
Oh, okay. What's the newest one?
The newest one that we dropped yesterday is called Future Shock.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Yes, we will. We'll play that. We'll play that at the end of our conversation. So that just came out. So that's brand new.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
It's fresh.
So I assume it's out on all the streaming services. And has that been played on? Has that been played on the radio at all yet?
No, not that I am aware of. You might be the first. You probably will be.
Let's assume that we are, because we love to do. As you know. We love to do the world radio premieres here on Matt Connarton Unleashed, so that we'll make this a world radio premiere, and that is wonderful. Good. That is wonderful. Now these tracks, are these part of an album, or are you just releasing these as singles at this point?
No, we have a full 4-track EP coming out at the end of probably about mid-July.
Okay.
We were originally going to drop a third EP. In that Dystopian Chronicles series earlier this year. But after working with kind of our PR and marketing team that we're working with, they asked us to hold on to it and release it in the summer. And that gave us an opportunity to release a couple of the other tracks as singles. So the original plan was just to drop Unleash the Beast in January and then the whole EP in March. But instead we did Future Shock this weekend, and we've got another one that we'll release, I think, in mid-June.
Okay.
Before releasing the full EP in July.
Now, did they ask you? I'm curious about that. Because I'm a music industry guy. Did they ask you to do that because you kind of want to you've got to feed that machine? We live in an era where it's really different than it used to be. Obviously, I'm old enough to remember. When I was growing up, it was the standard thing pre-internet was you release an album or an EP, and then you release a series of singles, or the first single comes out 6 to 8 weeks before the album, but everything else comes out afterward. And now it seems to be, it's really kind of inverted, right? Most artists now are releasing, because you have that option with social media. You can put out a single and promote it, and then those singles eventually form an EP or an album. And is that what the PR company kind of said? Let's do that instead.
So I think there was also a mix of just kind of the way that the band works, and the year that we had with Robert and getting him kind of up to speed, but also catching up from those several months where we didn't have a drummer. We were just hitting them with music kind of constantly. And we had planned with those folks, the C Squared, to, they gave us a cadence of dates. They were like, all right, in 2024, on this date, you're going to release a single, then this single, and then this EP, and then this single, then this single, then this EP. And just because of the way we were trying to, do all the shows that we were doing and all the stuff, it was like, all right, this is due on, November 22nd. So we were turning it in like November 21st, and we weren't really giving them a chance to do their job.
Yeah.
And so this year were like, all right, knock it off. if this thing is done, let's sit on it and give us a chance to do our thing. And we're like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. So I think that is some of it too, where we just they wanted to have an opportunity to promote, to help us promote this and to do some press for it and hopefully get more ears on it than I think the last couple of things that we've released have put out. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That answers your question, but I think that's my sense of why we're doing exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah, no, it does answer it. And I think that makes a lot of sense because, I think as an artist, you probably, I feel like a lot of artists, and I know from my own experience in playing in bands, if you record something and you're really happy with it, you want to get it out to the world. You want everybody to hear it. And then you've got to kind of, it's hard sometimes, I think, to kind of rein that in and say, well, we need to go about it the right way, because in the long term, you want to impact the largest possible audience that you can, growing your fan base. So you've got to approach it with a lot of strategy, but there's also that short-term impulse, and there's that short-term gratification that comes with putting something out and people like it, they respond to it. But, it's, I hate to use the cliche, but it does fit. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you want to get the most out of what you've put all this hard work into, all this music that you've recorded. You want to get the most out of it in terms of the impact with a fan base and expanding that fan base. So I think it makes a lot.
And at this point, we're used to sitting on songs that we love for a year before anybody gets to hear them.
Yeah.
So one of the ways I think we've kind of alleviated that for ourselves is we started a Patreon, and kind of the conceit of the Patreon is if you sign up, we'll basically get you into a couple of shows, no cover charge. But what we're doing with it is the promise is every month we're releasing songs that we haven't released yet in their demo form.
Oh,
so it's a way for us to not have to sit on some of that music for as long as we are, and we can kind of share it out with the folks that are subscribing and supporting us. We're able to share some of that stuff out and explain where we are in the process and say, a lot of times and once a month I do it at the beginning of every month. And so it's like, here's what we're working on in the studio. It's this track or this EP, but here's a song that we're probably going to release in May of 2026. I would just throw out the working demo version of it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. People get to hear kind of the process. They can hear it the way we're learning it, listening to it, and kind of getting used to it. And then down the line we release the real thing, and then that's the other kind of the benefit of the Patreon is we give the finished versions away, downloadable with all the tagged art and stuff.
Yeah.
To the patrons. So
I think that's a fantastic concept for the Patreon. I really do, because I know,
Thanks.
yeah. Because I know, like, as a fan, if I'm really into an artist, I love, and some people don't care about this kind of thing, but some people really are get really into it if they're very passionate about an artist. I love getting to hear demos, for something that's going to be recorded in the studio or it has been recorded and it's just not out yet. Or if I've already heard the studio version because it's out. But so I'll just to give you an example, my all-time favorite band is Kiss. And I love getting to every time I find a new demo, because YouTube is heavily populated, more and more so all the time with Kiss demos that, that people hadn't heard before. And I love hearing demos of to a studio album. And there's just, here's this demo that somebody found and now it's on YouTube and I get to hear it. And I love that kind of stuff, hearing the raw, that raw material that ultimately forms into what happens in the studio. I think that's great. So I love that concept.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm the same way. I think it's a lot of fun to listen to, your favorite artists in a way that is not the packaged product that they usually let you listen to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I don't even mind if it's, obviously if it's a demo, it's a little rough. It's not going to be, fully mixed and mastered, but I kind of like that too. Like, I don't mind hearing something that it's not, super polished. I like hearing the raw stuff. So that's a great concept. And, and I think for it kind of, not only do you get to share that with the fans, but I think for fans who, it kind of, it's kind of like they're in the inner circle then, right? It's like they're in on something that other people aren't necessarily in on. And I think that's awesome. And then they get the single too early. If they join the Patreon, they get, when the single finally does come out, they get it a little bit early, I assume.
Well, yeah, usually, I mean, unless the single is a standalone thing.
Okay.
Most of our singles are going to be part of a bigger thing, an EP or an album. And so we'll give them the full EP.
Okay.
That way they just get it all kind of when it's all said and done. But that's just because a lot of our, there's like the whole Bandcamp side of it. Like we have a couple singles like Clockwork Man and then the Warhog song are their kind of their own little things. So we'll give them those. But these two, the Unleash the Beast and Future Shock, those are going to be part of that third EP. So we'll just give them that when it's finished.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
And so that third EP, so that's going to be the Dystopian Chronicles Volume 3?
Yeah. We're finally wrapping it up. I'm really excited to have that whole thing kind of finished. It's been an interesting adventure. But I'm excited for it to be done and out in the world.
Over the course of doing this series, have you released music that's not a part of the series itself, that's separate from it, or is everything that you've released since you put out Volume 1, has it all been a part of the Dystopian Chronicles?
It's all been part of the Dystopian Chronicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that hard to keep to that? Like, do you guys ever come up with something that you really think is really good that you want to work on, but it just doesn't fit the concept of what you've been doing, so you have to put it aside? I mean, does that ever happen?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We're definitely, yes, and EP3 became what it is kind of because of that reason. There was so we had the original idea was we were going to put out a second album, and when we released the first one, and we only got so much kind of push because it was just one thing at one time, we decided to break up album 2 into these 3 EPs. And the original idea was EP1 and EP2 would be a collection of 4 or 5 minute long songs. They would be like your traditional EPs.
Yeah.
And then the third one was going to be this big, huge kind of epic thing that Eric had worked on and written that was 23 minutes long. It was this big, huge, sprawling, epic song. And that was going to be EP3. We're going to release it by itself.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah. And that was the plan. And then while we were, getting Robert acclimated to the band and him learning material and doing shows and recording all these tracks that we wanted to get caught up on, we were writing new material for the future. And when we got to a certain point, the C Squared, our PR and marketing folks, were asking us for a single ahead of the EP. And we were like, well, there's just the one song. It's 23 minutes long. Like, it is going to be what it is. And they were like, we should really maybe think about doing a traditional EP. And we were like, oh, good. We can just move that big 3-minute long song somewhere else. And we can play some of these newer songs that we've written that we're really excited about, them on the EP and get them out there sooner. So we kind of shifted gears at the very beginning of the year. I mean, I guess maybe at like December of last year, and said, okay, let's change. EP3 will be these 4 songs. We picked the songs, and I think Unleash the Beast was a completely new composition. Like, Eric had this riff in his mind and was kind of already working on this idea. And then he and I just kind of wrote the lyrics for it, and it came together pretty quickly. So, but like, Future Shock is something that we've had in the songs that were written folder on Dropbox for like 2 years. Hollow is going to be on there. And then there's the closer for the EP and kind of the whole Dystopian Chronicles as a whole is this song called Stewards of a Broken World that I'm really excited about. I think the guys are really excited about getting it out there. It was one of these things that I wrote, and when I shared it with the band, everybody kind of collectively was like, this is awesome. And it sucks that we're going to have to sit on this for a really long time.
Yeah.
Because we all knew it was going to be fun to play live. It's going to be it's a very kind of anthemic, I don't know. It'll be fun. I'm excited for it to come out, but
yeah,
we definitely have stuff that we sit on, but then this one, like I said, is a good example of, let's just switch gears a little bit, and maybe we'll release these a little earlier than we thought. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. So for those who don't know, what is the Dystopian Chronicles, and what's kind of the concept here? And is it a story, or is it more of is it a broader concept, or what is the Dystopian Chronicles?
It's kind of an anthology, I guess. It's not a full conceptual narrative like Call of the Voyager was. We had some songs that we put together that were all just kind of depressing and I like not very hopeful, and so as that theme kind of just took its shape with the leftovers from the Voyager writing process, we started thinking about, we could just write all these songs that are all kind of, the future is bad things are happening. What are the reasons that society is, crumbling or whatever? And so every song has that kind of bend to it, but they're not necessarily connected.
Yeah.
It's just that undercurrent theme of what's going on in the world, and why are things this way, and why are we doing anything to make any of it better, stuff like that.
Yeah. The Cybertooth song is so that's like my personal favorite. I love that. But which one is that on? I forget now.
No, that's I think the opening track off Volume 1.
That's on. Oh, that's the opener on Volume 1. Yeah, I just love that song. It's so catchy and fun. That one's not depressing well, I mean, I guess it's depressing in the sense that the concept is scary, but it's also funny, and the song is funny.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's kind of the, it's thematically, some of the stuff is just dark, but song to song, they're all kind of their own thing. But yeah, like you'd say, oh yeah, the song about the hunt of the Cybertooth doesn't sound depressing at all, but we're like, no, but I mean, it's like takes place in a world where the cops have no control, so they just send out a killing machine every night to just hunt down criminals indiscriminately. Like, sounds bad,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
of course, we released that, and now, like, look at what's happening with like ICE and stuff. It's like, yeah, maybe this is something that's not so far off. So,
right,
but that's the part of the this all the best dystopian works are wrapped in fantasy, and then when you take that kind of veneer away, you're like, oh no, this is bad. This is already bad. We're already in this bad spot. So,
well, that's the thing, right? I mean, that's how you can connect with people with something like that. That's fantasy. I mean, obviously, people enjoy all kinds of, whether it's music or books or films or, all kinds of sort of fantasy type stuff. But I think the fantasy stuff that resonates the most with people is where, this is fantasy, it's fiction, but this could actually happen. And,
right.
And it kind of gets those neurons firing and makes you think a little bit. And I think that's really cool about what you're doing. I think that's part of what's a big draw with your music. I mean, obviously the songs are very catchy and really good hooks, and the playing is phenomenal, and your vocals and all of it. You've got the whole package. But I think also it resonates with people because there's something there that they can kind of analyze and think about.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
We could go out there and write fluff about stuff that doesn't matter, or we can write about stuff that matters. Like I think three of us in the band all have kids, and every day I wake up to a fresh new hell of this world that we're living in, and I can't help but wonder, like, what is it that we're leaving for this next generation or two, and that's definitely on my mind every time I sit down with a guitar
mm-hmm.
and start working on something, or at least it has been for these last couple of years. So
yeah. Do you write all the lyrics?
No, Eric and I probably share. I think probably Eric and I, if you had to split it and you really went down and did the math, I'd say it's probably like a 60-40 split where Eric does the 60% of the writing and I write like 40% of the writing. And that's music and lyrics. Eric is a really good songwriter in his own right, and he has his own distinct style. A lot of times what'll happen is Eric will write something that whatever I write, I sit down and the way my brain works is it goes, okay, and don't forget you have to do these things at the same time. So the guitar parts that I write tend to enable me to sing, whereas Eric doesn't really do that. He just writes the guitar part and puts the song together, and then we'll put lyrics to it without trying to do them at the same time. And so my job is usually to take Eric's lyrics and write them into something that I can sing. And sometimes that's an extensive rewrite, and sometimes it's just changing a couple words or pulling a couple syllables out or little stuff like that. But I'd say it's probably 60-40, just for no reason other than that it just is what's been working for us.
Right.
Eric and I played together in a band a long time ago, and I was the primary songwriter, and I probably wrote 95% of the music, so I'm happy to let him take the wheel and drive on the majority of this stuff now. But
yeah,
we do definitely share.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. And what about as far as live shows? Are you guys playing a lot? Or I know you've been really focused on you're doing a lot of shows. Good.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. We did 7 shows already this year. I think the last show we played was in mid-March, and then Eric and his wife were expecting another kid who was born Monday or Tuesday. I think maybe Monday night.
Wow.
So they just had their second show. That's why he's not here today, because they're doing baby stuff this morning.
That's understandable.
Yeah, exactly. And so we had taken kind of mid-March through mid-May off and blacked that off of the calendar just because we didn't want to be setting up for a gig and then Corey to call and be like, I'm going into labor, So we space in March and April, but we're going to start back up again here in the next couple weeks in May, and we've got 2 shows in May, a show booked in June and July and August and September. So we're booked all the way out, kind of into the fall. So
excellent, yeah,
playing a lot.
Yeah. So the music that you're sitting on, is it like, do you ever get tempted to sneak something of that into the live set, or are you guys pretty?
Oh no.
And
it's easy to do that because we don't really, the way that with Eric and I and the way that just our band is operating, this is going to sound terrible when I say it out loud, but the other guys aren't really required to write a song. Okay. So a lot of our demos, when Eric finishes a song, when I finish a song, it's got MIDI drums. Like we'll program our own drum parts and stuff, and I can play bass and Eric can play bass and Eric can sing, and so he'll do all the vocals on all of his songs. Yeah. And then I'll do all the so we'll just kind of package our songs together. Yeah. And so what ends up happening is we don't really work up a song as a full band until we're ready to add it to the set list. Okay. Which means we have recorded it and are ready to release it. So right now we are in the studio working up Unleash the Beast and Future Shock and Stewards of a Broken World so that we can start playing them in May to promote EP3. Okay. So yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, which is it's kind of not the most genuine kind of 4 guys in a room cranking out music together, but I have a feeling that that's how a lot of other folks do it, where they'll just pretty sure Iron Maiden gets together once a year and everybody brings their demo tapes and they're like, well, here's the 6 songs I wrote, and here's the 6 songs I wrote, and here's the and then they just kind of pick the ones that they're all going to learn, and then they just spend 3 weeks learning them and then record them, so that's kind of what we do. We kind of just do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it,
It works for us. But what's nice is when we play shows now, we're really consistent, and we're really just nailing the crap out of the songs that we're playing.
Yeah.
And then as we rotate stuff in, we can rotate older stuff out, and I think it helps folks kind of get familiar with new material as well, because we kind of play them in the same spots and the same set orders and stuff like that.
Yeah. What is the live show like in terms of are there any theatrics? Do you use any special effects? Because your music certainly lends itself to that, I would think.
Yeah, depending on the venue, we do a couple of different things, but like this place in Dallas called Trees, which is kind of a legendary local venue. Like Nirvana played there in the early 90s before they kind of like really blew up. Everybody has played it at Trees that comes through, and they've got an amazing digital display behind the drums. And so we can go in there with videos and just all sorts of animated stuff. And so we've experimented with like every song gets a different backdrop.
Oh, cool.
Right. So as we play the Cyber 2 song, you've got the dystopian kind of alleyway that cover art sat on. When we play some of the other stuff, we change up the backdrop changes, and the Warhog logo will come in and out and stuff. But what we've started doing this year, which I really love, is we have a Warhog costume.
Yeah.
That the night of the show, we just kind of grab someone from the audience and designate them as the Warhog, and we close our show with the song Warhog, and there's this kind of, in the middle of it, there's this big kind of gang chant that's "We call upon the Warhog," and coming out of it, we go into the guitar solos, and so now what we've got is someone in this boar mask and like a shield and an axe, and there's like a shirt and everything. They come out and they like amp up the crowd, and if we've got some swag, they'll throw swag out, and or they'll throw t-shirts out, and they just want to come out and ramp up the crowd like a mascot, and then they just disappear off the side of the stage when it's done, and then we finish the set. But that's what we're doing now, is we've got a Warhog that actually comes out, and I think what we're going to start doing is incorporating that with some of the background images and put him in places, so that if this is the first time you've seen us and you're seeing us at Trees, we start the first song and there's our big backdrop, and the Warhog will be in there somewhere, and then 3 songs later we'll change it and there'll be a new backdrop, but that guy will be in there somewhere. But by the 8th or 9th song, when the actual Warhog comes out in the flesh, it's like, oh, this is the thing. They've been teasing this, and now it's here, looking me in the eye. Plastic axe happy, like that's. I think that's fun. I think those kind of theatrics are really manageable in a small venue, and we do that in the small venues too. My sister was actually just the Warhog at our last show. It was really funny.
Oh, no kidding.
So man or woman, whoever wants to be the Warhog, we can make it happen. So
that's fantastic. I love that. Is there any video of that on YouTube?
Oh yeah. If you go to our YouTube page, I'll pull it up real quick. There is a video. Let me see here. Warhog, Unleash the Beast. I think there's a video of someone doing the Warhog.
I got to check that out. That sounds
It's pretty funny. It's pretty, and there's plenty of pictures online of people doing it too, but I'm pretty sure we've got footage of it.
I'll check that out.
It's really funny. It's always a good time. There's definitely pictures of it.
Okay.
On our Facebook and probably on Instagram. There's definitely pictures from the recent shows of the Warhog out there doing their thing.
Okay.
It's great. We recently did Wacken Metal Festival in Germany. They did every year they do a battle of the bands where they get international unsigned independent bands an opportunity to kind of fight their way to Germany.
Yeah.
And we competed in that, and we won Dallas and went down to Austin and competed at the state level. And it was real fun because the last song we did was Warhog, and these people had no idea who we were or what we sounded like, and we just got to go out there and play our thing. And then all of a sudden, the guy jumps out on stage and he's got packets of jerseys and stickers, and we're like, oh my gosh, you just like in the audience, I was just like looking at people's eyes. They were just so kind of hilariously entertained by it, because I don't think anybody was expecting that at like a little everybody gets 4 songs and then you disappear kind of show. So,
right.
It's always it's a treat to do that. People really enjoy it. So. Oh,
that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. I'll look on your YouTube page, see if I can find, I got to see this, but very, very cool. Scott, what should people know about how to find you guys online? Is warhogband.com the best place to go as far as keeping up with everything that you're doing?
Yeah, Warhog Band is great because from there you can get everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, all the social medias. We are Warhog DFW.
Okay.
Which DFW is just Dallas Fort Worth. But yeah, Warhog DFW on all the social media. Facebook, we're really active. Instagram, we're really active. So if you kind of want to get your bang for your buck and interact with us, that's where I would start.
Okay.
If you need help finding any of those things, absolutely, warhogband.com. But warhogband.com has all of our merch, and that's where you can buy our music and all that stuff. So
great website, by the way. Who does the website? Do you do that yourself, or?
Eric does.
Eric does
the website.
Yeah, he does a great job. I'm a marketing guy, and I pay a lot of attention to websites, and there's a lot of there's a lot of bad websites out there that the musicians put up, but you guys have a great site. It's
thanks.
Easy to navigate, but also very visually appealing and engaging. And it's there's a lot there, but it's not overly busy. It's great. It's kind of the perfect band website, to be honest with you. It's really good.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I pay a lot of attention to that kind of thing, but very good, very good. Well, Scott Beatley of Warhog, we really appreciate you joining us today. Oh, and please, tell Eric I said congratulations on the.
I will. I think he's probably listening right now, so you probably just told him live.
Yes, congratulations, Eric, if you are listening. And in a moment, we're going to do. So this will be the world radio premiere of the brand new track "Future Shock" from Warhog, and looking forward to sharing this with everybody. Jenny and I, we love everything you guys do. You guys are amazing. So.
And we love you guys supporting us. I love every time I see y'all in the feed and you're wearing your Warhog shirts. You've seen me do it. I share it with our folks. I think it's amazing. I love it. So thank you guys for supporting us all the way from New Hampshire. It's really awesome.
Oh yeah. Very, very happy to do it. So Scott, we'll let you go, and then we're gonna do that world premiere. But thank you so much, my friend, and. We'll, as always, of course, we'll definitely do this again in the future as you continue to release new music, and we love being able to support everything that you're doing. So thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy Easter, y'all. Have a great weekend.
You got it. Happy Easter. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was Scott Beatley from the band Warhog. And without further ado, here it is. This is the world radio premiere. This has not been played on FM radio. This is brand new from Warhog. This is called Future Shock.
You are listening to WMNH 95.3
World Premiere.
They catch me cold so I could wake in another time.
filth is left to spread. You'll find your worth when stripped for parts after you're dead. Despair, the only promise. Hope is a lie. Chaos surrounds us. Hell passes me by. Trapped to all that you hold dear. There's no use hiding the truth. There's no escaping the hunt of the cyber truth. Criminals cower in fear. Say goodbye to all that you hold dear. There's no use hiding the truth. There's no escaping the hunt of the cyber tooth.